Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is ANY150. This is Module 13. You are now going to take what you did in Module 12, and we're going to go ahead and duplicate all of those pieces. And now we're going to create a high poly sci-fi modular hallway by using those low poly pieces and adding edge loops. So that's basically what you're going to be doing this week. So this will be a very short introduction video. If you have any questions, you can see the overview is very short. It's just one thing you're going to be doing. You should be able to get this finished within 4 to 6 hours if you do it correctly. And may take some of you guys a little bit longer if you're still unsure of what you're doing. But this is our last module, so this should come very easily for you. A lot easier than it was before. And since we're doing architectural pieces too, they're going to be a lot easier than the organic pieces we did on the weapon. So this will actually be a pretty easy last module, and I kind of wanted it that way. The weapon is definitely the hardest one you guys will be doing. So the course assignment is basically this. You're going to be creating the high poly sci-fi hallway. Now, a lot of you have asked me what kind of artistic freedom do you have? The only artistic freedom that you're going to have are the 2 variant assets I've asked you guys to do that are original, that you've created yourself. The rest of the assets need to be as close to what I did in the other module as possible, and that's how I grade you. And how does it hold up to the reference? Because that's what we're all looking at. How does it hold up to the reference, and did you get all that detail in there that you need to get in there? So keep that in mind. Alright, so it kind of tells you what I need to have from you as far as screenshots go. They're pretty straightforward. I've got lots of examples here that you guys can look at, and we'll scroll down, get past this, and I kept this in here. And then we have our course assignment again, and we've got 17 pieces we have to actually create as a high poly. 15, and then 2 of your variants. Okay, so here's the reference again. Nothing's really changed, and this makes it a lot easier for you guys. You're just moving on to the next videos of creating the edge loops, and that's it. You're going to create all the supporting edge loops in here. And some of you guys are comfortable going on your own, and then most of you probably need to watch my videos just in case you can see what I've done and the mistakes that I make and how I problem solve those out. It's, all that matters to me is that we all get to the same end game, which is having a completed piece. So you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then you'll have 2 of your variants that I do not have in here. But you'll have your 2 variants in here. You can have above, you can have those, and they're going to be the walls, right? And you're going to have those above here maybe, and just move it around. This is the grading rubric. Please read that very carefully. See how I'm going to grade you. And then the visual, the turn-in instructions are these. Basically, this video was created last semester, which would be the summer semester, and we only have 8 weeks instead of 16, or 7 weeks instead of 15 like we have here. And so the idea is that we had to condense a lot of stuff, and so these guys were actually having to do low poly and high poly in 1 week. Now imagine that. Now it's nice that you guys have basically 2 weeks to do the low poly and high poly, so these guys are really, just imagine how they were feeling. So I basically cut it and give you a longer time to create these pieces, and so I expect a lot more from you guys actually than I did from the summer class. So again, I'm going to say this is module 5, but obviously this is module 13. And this was created because of the condensed summer class that I just kind of talked about. You do not need to turn in your low poly modular scene files. screenshots or renders, okay, for this module. You just need to turn in everything I need for the high poly. So if you see me screenshotting low poly, just ignore that part. If you see me screenshotting the high poly, you need to watch it and see what I'm doing, and that's what I need from you guys, okay? So, alright, so you need to add your high poly variant modular pieces to your scenes, and it's quite simply is that if you watch a video, an older video of mine, and I try to explain it the best way I can, basically I don't need your low poly because I got that from you from module 12. So this is module 13. Now I need your high poly. So just think in that terms. Even if you watch this and you see me screenshotting low poly, it's okay. Just ignore that part. And then I need to make sure I have all your high poly, and I need to have a finalized render with it smoothed. Okay. Now, if you're not quite sure what smoothing is, basically you have 3 types of models. One's going to be your low poly. You always keep that and you duplicate it. So this is what I've been showing you how to do this workflow is low poly first, duplicate the low poly, create the edge loops. That's called a medium poly. Create the edge loops, duplicate that, and then you're going to smooth it. So you're going to have 2 duplicates. One is the low poly, one is the medium poly. You don't want to touch those. You always keep those in a layer by themselves, and you always duplicate them. So the medium poly then is duplicated, and then you smooth it, okay? Smooth it at 2, okay, iterations at 2. And that'll give you a nice, smooth, finished, that reflects light. It looks really awesome. And that's what you're going to use to create your, basically create all the cavity tools that you need to create all the beautiful little texturing that you need from smart materials. And that's what makes this so awesome. And you're going to apply all that information onto the low poly. Okay. Now, more and more that we're getting away from super low poly, so it's really almost medium poly now, which means we can add more detail to the low poly, and that's what you see here. I'm getting you ready. Normally, you would just do just a form of this, like you could do super low poly and then bake in all the normal maps. But more and more game engines like Unreal, and in fact, if you guys look up Unreal 5, they're actually doing all high-res models. Pretty soon, there will be no more low-res models. Okay, the only platforms you'll see low-res models being used is probably going to be, your mobile phones and stuff like that. So that stuff is going to be gone in the next 5 years. Unreal Tournament or Unreal Engine 5, when it comes out, hopefully in January, low poly will be gone. Now, I'm not saying I'm still going to teach that, the workflow, low poly, high poly, and baking maps. Of course, we're going to continue doing that because not all engines are moving towards that, but I just want to let you know that's what's coming, and it will happen in the next 5 years. So pretty soon you'll be able to bring in your high poly meshes, and it won't even bother the engine at all. And so you'll have to look that up and check it out. It's pretty cool. So that technology is coming. It's not here yet. That's why we still do low poly, high poly. And this is how I'm going to grade you, so please read that. And then again, the videos we talked about. Okay, so this is going to be a fun week. Next week, if you want to get ahead, next week it hasn't changed. Next week's going to be, of course, UV mapping and texturing. So if you want to get a leg up on that, feel free to go ahead and go for it, because it's going to be the exact same instruction, meaning that I'm going to show you how to UV map all the pieces, or at least one piece, and you'll do the rest of them. And I'm going to create UDIM tiles like I did before. And once we're done with that, then you texture. I'll basically need screenshots from Substance Painter, and then final renders, and of course the regular screenshots I always ask for. I always ask for the same thing. And so it makes it easy for you to remember what I need. And very rarely will I change anything. Okay, I try not to do that. I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, I try not to. Anyway, if you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to email me. I'm happy to. Those of you that emailed me know that I get back to you right away, within the hour. At least I try to, and at the most 24 hours, and that never happens. But if it does, it's because you're probably not emailing me at jbyers3@jcc.edu. If you email me through Canvas, that goes to my clutter, and I haven't been able to get that out of there. So I do check every day, so that could be 24 hours. But I have my JCC account, jbyers3@jcc.edu, open all day long, so I'm watching that. So contact me if you need help, and if you have any questions, let me know. But you guys are doing great, man. This is what is it? Module 13. We got 2 more modules left, and you're done. And you guys have all done a great job. So I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Hopefully you have a lot of fun with this one. And at the very end, we're going to go ahead and create a level. And I encourage you guys that can do this to download the Unreal Engine, and I will have videos on how to set that up. And you can then go in there and play your own level if you want to. But I'm not going to require it, because some of us, there's no way we can download Unreal 4 engine, even though it's free, because it is so huge. It's like 20 gigs, and a lot of us, a lot of students can't do that. They don't have the resources to do that. Plus, they don't have the hardware to do that. You need a really good graphics card, a very fast machine. So I apologize to those that can't do it. I'm not pushing it. And in fact, I'm gonna show you how to render everything in Maya with Arnold, and it looks just as good. It's just that you're not going to be able to play in it interactively if you were to build it in Unreal. So anyway, have fun and enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next module, Module 14.